Hello, this is Amy from Rain Studios, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on a graduated Jens Pinds chain. I use a graduated chain to make these earrings. As you can see, they start off very fine and thin at the top, and they graduate down to a nice thickness at the bottom. This is what I call my medium drop size. I have not yet made a short drop, but I thought these are kind of more, they're not really short, they're more of a medium length. And then these ones here are my long drop earrings. So the only difference between these two is the number of rings in each size as the chain graduates upward. I have made a little cheat sheet for myself right here. Let's see if we can get it all in. So for my medium drop earrings, let me get a pointy thingy. Okay, so in blue, all of these sizes are the sizes I would use if I was making a straight Jens Pinds chain. These sizes in yellow is kind of my bridge size to go from one size up to the next. This slightly larger ring size is needed to get the next size up to be able to fit through. Okay, so I have laid out, today I'm going to make the medium length, and I've laid out all the sizes I need. So I'll have them in order. I'm going to move these aside. And I've already started off with my very tiny rings. This is the 20 gauge 2.5 rings. Okay, and according to my sheet here, I need 6 rings in the 20 gauge 2.5. Which does not make that long of a chain, as you can see. So these are my 6 rings. Basically, it's a section, I guess you would say 3 rings makes one little full section of Jens Pinds. So 6 rings makes 2 sections. Although I don't know, I don't think I would really call it, I don't think Jens Pinds really has a section because it could just keep on going forever and ever. But three rings takes you all the way around in a circle, I guess, is what you could say. So, so there's 2 little sections. I'm going to say the word sections just for the purposes of this tutorial. So there's 3 sections of Jens Pinds in this beginning part. And then I'm going to take my bridge ring. So these are made from the normal size for Jens Pinds in 20 gauge, which is 2.5 millimeters ID. This ring is 2.75. It's just a teeny bit bigger. So I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to zoom in because this is such a small little bitty chain. So we can see what's happening. Okay. I'm going to find where the end of my chain is. For Jens Pinds, if you do not know how to make Jens Pinds, I should have said at the beginning, you need to go back and watch my Jens Pinds tutorial. So Jens Pinds, the ring always needs to go through the last 2 rings, this ring and this ring. This ring is slanting upward, so it needs to go in on the bottom. Right there. So there it goes. I flipped it, so now they're slanting downward, but there it goes. So this is my little bridge ring. I'm going to close it up. Okay, and there we go. Nice and closed. Okay, so basically this is just making the Jens Pinds chain, except we're just doing different sizes as we go ahead. So this one on the end is my little bridge ring. It's going to bridge the gap between the 20 gauge 2.5 rings onto the 18 gauge rings. So I don't want to lose my place. I'm going to make sure I set that down, and I've got to work off that end. So now I'm going to get my 18 gauge rings. And I'm going to pop this guy on the end. So these are tilting upward. I actually like to work, I usually add my rings on from the back, and for some reason I like to add it when they're tilting downward. So there we go. It's going to go right through this space right here. See that? See it going through there? All those rings are tilting downward, and the next ring is also going to tilt downward. Let me close that up. Something I can't really do on camera, sorry. So now this guy is closed. And as you can see, this is quite a bit bigger ring than the other rings in this chain. This is 18 gauge. I'm starting my little section of 18 gauge. So looking at my cheat sheet here, the 18 gauge rings, I'm going to do 6 of the 18 gauge rings, and then I'm going to go to my little bridge ring of the 3.5. Okay, now I'm going to add my next ring on. With this, I have to kind of make sure, right at the beginning of a new section, I have to make sure that they go through the right way. So I got all those rings tilted down, and it's going to go right through this gap right here, right through there. I'll take my open ring and slide it through. See how they're all tilting downward, and the new ring is also tilting downward? Good, good, good. Okay, close that guy up. So that's number 2 of the 6 rings. Gonna find the next place to go. I like to just turn it until I see what I want to see. The next ring is gonna go right there. Right like that. And close. And the next ring, let's find where that goes. Those are all tilting upward. Again, for some reason I like to put it in from the back when they're tilting downward. Oh, that's not right. It's got to go through the last 2 rings. There we go. So it's going through this ring and this ring. It's going to line up with this ring. Just like that. And close. And I'm going to do the next 2 rings off camera so we can move this tutorial along. Okay, so I've added all of those rings. Let's lay it down here so you can kind of see. And let's zoom. So there are all the rings. All of the 18 gauge rings are there, and well, not all, the bridge ring is missing off the end. So I'm ready to add my bridge ring now. Let me fix my camera again. Okay, so now I've got my 18 gauge 3.5 ring, and it's going to go on just like the other rings in the Jens Pinds. Gonna find out where it goes. I like them all slanting downward like that, and then it goes through just like that. There we go. Ish. And close. Okay, so now my bridge ring is on there. Let's look at my cheat sheet here. So these rings are done. We did 6 of those. We did 1 20 gauge bridge ring to bridge us to the next size up, which is 18 gauge 3.0. And then we just added our last 18 gauge ring, our bridge ring, to bridge us over into the 16 gauge. For the 16 gauge, they're getting thicker. It's since it's a thicker ring, we don't need as many rings to make as long of a chain, which is why I've only done the 3. So I'm opening up my 16 gauge rings, and they go on just the same way. I have to go on through the last 2 rings. I like them all slanting kind of downward. This line is all slanting downward, slanting downward, slanting downward. And then this ring can pop on through the back, through those last 2 rings. It's a little tight squeeze, but it can do it. Focus. There we go. Okay, so see how that's going on, and it's going in the same direction as all the other rings. And now I close. And now we're going to add the next ring, 16 gauge. It's going to go right on the end of there. Like that. Close. And our last 16 gauge ring, I really should have pre-opened these guys. Okay, our last 16 gauge ring is going to go right through those 2 end rings. Okay, right through there. Just like that. And close. Okay. And now we're ready for our bridge 16 gauge ring. See how it's slowly graduating up to a bigger size? It's very pretty. Okay, let's get our bridge ring. This is my 16 gauge 4.5 ring. Like this. Let's find where it goes. I want all those guys slanting downward. There we go. They're all slanting downward, and this is going to go through the last 2 rings right there. And close. Nice. Okay, so with that bridge ring, we go to our last ring, our last size, which is 14 gauge 4.75. And there's only 3 of those with no bridge rings needed because we are not going to bridge our way to the next size. Okay, and this will be it. This will be the end of our little graduated chain. See, we add it on just like we would any other ring. Okay, it's going to go right here. I got all those rings slanting downward. It's going to go through this ring and this ring. Right like that. And it has to go on top, so it will also slant downward with its little friends. And close. And then we got 2 more to add, 2 more rings. Find the next place for it to go. Right there. It's going to go right through those 2 end rings. Let me open this guy up. It's going to go right through here, like that. Close. And our last ring, we're ready for our very last ring. It's going to go right there. And close. And there's our earring. Now we just add on a little finding. To add that on, I'm going to I could either open this top ring and slide it on, or I'm lazy, so I'm just going to open this up a little bit and slide it on like so. I always use sterling silver, even if they're copper earrings, I use sterling silver. And there's our earring. Pretty, isn't it? And it's lovely and graduated and gorgeous. All right, so that is how you make a graduated Jens Pinds. And you could extrapolate what I've taught here and make a bracelet. Maybe start very thin, graduate up, and then graduate back down. You can do all kinds of things. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, subscribe to my channel, let me know what you think, show me pictures of what you've made. You can find me at rainstudios-supplies.com for supplies or rainstudios.com for my finished jewelry. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.